We are live. How to Crypto Live. It's another day. It's a beautiful Monday. It's April 22nd. And, I haven't really been making too many videos, but I've been making them. I just haven't been posting them too much. But it's always good to kind of make some videos, get it out there. That was one of my goals this week, was to make a crypto video like I kind of was making every week. So here we are. We're back at it. I got a little time today. So let's talk a little bit about crypto. We had some good news. It is, we had the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving was big news. The funny thing is especially in online, I read a lot of posts. I went through some comments and some bigger posts, and it's amazing how many people say that the Bitcoin halving was priced in. And this is my third halving now. In 2016, I was brand new to Bitcoin, and I was right about to kind of start accepting it during the halving period. And the funny thing is, at that time, I was one of those people that didn't want to accept Bitcoin because I didn't want to lose half my money. I thought you lost half your money, which was pretty funny. And this is my third halving now. In 2016. So that was in 2016. 2020, I don't know how many people said it's priced in, it's priced in, it's priced in. That halving was at 8K. It ran all the way up to like 69, right? So that halving was not priced in. And so today we're seeing that same thing. We're seeing a lot of people say it's priced in, which is pretty funny. Who knows? Nobody knows what the future holds. However, there's one thing that we do know, that the Bitcoin monetary system is working. It's functional. It doesn't need somebody to flip a switch. It doesn't need somebody to make a decision. It doesn't need any of that. Block by block, it is working as it has been forever. So the monetary network just proved itself once again to be the most resilient monetary system in human history of all of mankind. So that was a good thing, right? Could you imagine it was a halving and nothing happened and it kind of screwed up, or there was an error, or something? Anyway, we knew that wasn't going to happen, but there's some people that maybe not understand things, or it's just a boost of confidence. We have confidence. We have confidence in a system. And with money, what is money today? It doesn't matter if you have the best system. It doesn't matter if you have the best whatever. It's about what has confidence, or what is forced, confidently to use. And what is the value of the US dollar? The value of the US dollar is that you have confidence in the government to get your money back. It's a confidence thing. And if nobody had confidence in the dollar, why would people use it? Well, they're kind of forced to use it because we'll send the military after you if you don't. But something big just happened. We had the Bitcoin halving, big boost of confidence in monetary policy. And then the next day, on Saturday, the Senate pushed a bill, and what they did, to me, it's something huge. I don't think many people have seen it. Well, I want to make a video. Maybe you have not heard about it, so forth. But when Russia invaded Ukraine, we seized their assets in the SWIFT system, and we seized about $8 billion worth of their assets that we could confiscate. So we seized them and froze their assets when they invaded the country. And at that point in time, we banned and sanctioned them to not use the SWIFT payment rails. And ever since, Russia has stated that we have no other option but to look at alternatives on how to trade. So they've been trading with China through other payment methods other than the US dollar. And actually, they just came out today and said publicly that they're not using the dollar at all for trade between the two countries, which is, again, another nail in the coffin of the US dollar. Anyway, so we froze $8 billion, which is a lot amount, but it's nothing compared to what we print. And on Saturday, we pushed in that bill that everybody's talking about, giving 60 billion, whatever, to Ukraine, or some people might be talking about the TikTok ban, which is another huge Downside of confidence, again, we're forcing people to, no other country. We're not promoting a fair financial market, a fair market at all, right? Um, a global market at all. So um, you might be hearing about the TikTok ban or the money we sent to Ukraine or whatever, but none of that was the big deal. The big deal was there was a huge principle that we broke. And what we broke was we took that $8 billion that we froze and we just approved, or in that bill, we're going to give that $8 billion and we're going to steal it. We're going to take it from Russia. It's their money, but we don't like what they did. So we're going to take it and then we're going to give it to Ukraine. We're going to give it to their opponent. So let me ask you this. Who is going to want to interact with the financial system where somebody can seize it at any point in time and give it to your opponents, competitors, enemies, the people trying to kill you, whatever it is, right? Why would you want to interact in a market like that? Who would want to have value or money in a system that can just vanish overnight, and not even just vanish overnight, but be used against you? So that's a huge principle. And the funny thing is $8 billion is so minimal compared to what we're even sending to Ukraine and what we're printing annually. We have a massive debt. We're approving $1.2 trillion in more debt. So it's such a small amount. Why can't we just print a little bit more and give it to Ukraine? Why do we need to do that? Why can't we just give Russia their money back? And that's the whole thing. They're doing this on purpose. You have to understand this is being done by design, because why? It's not about the money. It's not a huge money issue. It's the principle. It's the principle that matters. And it's signaling to the rest of the world there's no confidence left in this system. This system is completely corrupted 100%. And we saw some sell-off. We saw people not using the dollar for trade as much after they sanctioned Russia. But now I think we're at that point now where a lot more people are going, a lot more countries are going to be like, all right, we need to get our value out of the hands of the thieves or out of this system, out of whatever. So I think we'll start to see a lot of sell-off in treasuries pretty soon. Who's paying attention to this? I don't know. And the thing with the Bitcoin is, let's talk about crypto. Crypto is doing pretty well. I did have a thesis. I don't know if I told you on one of my live streams or not, but the halving was something that I was really waiting for. And I was extremely glad to see that we had a correction before the halving. One, it made people think that the halving was priced in, and how much money got liquidated over the past few weeks in this range, which when we started to dump, I said either this is going to form a range or we just go higher right out of the gate. And I was scared that if we were going to continue to go higher and higher and higher before the halving, because one of my theses is, out of many, right? You never know. You're never right. So make a bunch and maybe you'll be right. But anyway, it's not about being right. One of my theses was, if they really wanted to kill Bitcoin or control Bitcoin or target Bitcoin or whatever with these ETFs, I was thinking that they could have pumped Bitcoin pretty crazy, bought up as much as they can buy up, and then after the halving, just absolutely just destroy the market and hopefully wipe out a lot of these miners, make them go bankrupt. I think right now with the hash rate and the amount of people mining, like the cost to mine a Bitcoin is like 70 something $1,000. So imagine if the price of Bitcoin right now was 30, 20, and they just absolutely just decimate the order books. That would absolutely just kill confidence, right? It would just absolutely kill the confidence in Bitcoin. And they wouldn't be able to do it that long, of course, because Bitcoin continues to roll on and so forth, but there's not that much supply hitting the market. And if they produce the supply hitting the market to sell it off, to hit a big thing, I think it could have really killed kind of the confidence in Bitcoin. The confidence is kind of slowly coming back. I don't hear a lot of noise. I don't think people are really interested in Bitcoin. I think maybe if Bitcoin was at 100K or when it hits 100K, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Bitcoin, oh, tell me about Bitcoin, tell me about Bitcoin. But right now it's still pretty dead. The market's pretty slow compared to, peak bull market, even though we have a lot of people, more people in. The markets seem noisy. I don't think they're noisy for a bull market at all. The craziness, I do think we're going to have a fairly typical cycle, maybe a little bit longer cycle. I do think we're going to start to take off at the, towards the end of this year and have a real big, massive leg up, which will be nice. And then we can evaluate at that point. But I'm glad to see that we have not had such a huge sell-off right after the halving, and maybe attack miners, try to make them go bankrupt, buy them all up, buy the machines up. But also, too, that also tells me that, the big banks are allowing their product into their systems, selling Bitcoin ETFs. It signals to me that, this is where I start talking about the guy that kind of lit himself on fire yesterday, the day before, and his manifesto was about how the two parties are working for themselves, and crypto is a big Ponzi scheme. Of course, yes, that has always been my kind of belief. I never thought Satoshi. I kind of had hope Satoshi might have been some random guy and wanted freedom for the world, but I learned really early on. I think they would have killed Bitcoin very early on, and I don't think they would ever allow it to be this successful if it wasn't under their control. I remember when I was at the halving party, somebody asked me who I thought Satoshi was, and I said it's the Feds, it's the Federal Reserve, it's the banking cartel, and they were just like, "The hell are you doing in Bitcoin? You must not own Bitcoin." And I was like, no, it's complete opposite. This is my one chance to sit beside them while they create a new system, create a new world. It's not about fighting them. You can't fight the beast. You can't. But the more you fight them, the more you go crazy, and maybe you'll light yourself on fire. But instead, join them, watch their moves, and that's how you better yourself off. I'm one person. I can't change the world. I can't change the direction. I don't have much money at all. I'm just one poor guy sitting in a town. Like I don't have a big family, big anything. So the thing is, you just join them. And what do I think about crypto being a Ponzi scheme? Absolutely. Is crypto what absolutely creates a huge financial crisis? Absolutely. It's the new financial system. All the liquidity is going to go to one system to another system. Absolutely. Isn't that kind of the understanding and kind of how it works? You have one system that is extremely inefficient, that hasn't been really updated, and it's manipulated. Your assets can get seized whenever they want. So who wants to play in a financial market that's corrupted? Yeah, crypto is the future. Absolutely. Will it cause, what causes a financial crisis? Is crypto going to zero? I think that's maybe where he was wrong, or maybe the wording wasn't quite correct, or maybe he just doesn't understand the mechanics of how it can work, or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. But absolutely, I think crypto continues to go absolutely berserk, and I mean, trillions of dollars, trillions, tens of trillions of dollars are going to funnel in this market over the next few years, decade, and that's money that's technically doesn't exist. So how do you have one market that's sucking all the liquidity out of another market, where the actual underlying value, the dollar, doesn't actually quite really exist? It's just fake money. It's just paper money, right? To give you an example, the housing industry is worth what, like $600 trillion? How much money has ever been printed in existence? Like what? I mean, physical cash is only like 3 trillion or something. So you see how there's so much value out there, but there's so little monetary. So if crypto continues to go so high, and then people want that monetary value, there isn't any, right? So you're trading worthless paper for a product that can't be manipulated, and it needs its backing. Which how? So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. But um, you know, I absolutely think crypto. Everything is a Ponzi scheme. Technically, everything is, right? What is the definition of one? But uh, absolutely, I don't. I think crypto is the future. I absolutely would agree with him that crypto is what causes a great financial crisis. Not because it's a Ponzi scheme, but because it's the replacement system. It's where the new system is. It's a global, decentralized, more system, more fair level playing field. You have a lot more customers. You have so forth. It's so much more efficient. Why would I want to run a stock market that needs 40, 50,000 employees when I can run a blockchain based decentralized exchange with 3,000 employees? You know, I could get rid of how many employees, and the markets can run 24/7, 365, 7 days a week, have full auditing power. I mean, come on. It's obvious where we're headed. Crypto tokenization of assets is the next big thing. All of that is going to get onto the blockchain. That's kind of where we're headed. And will that be a bad thing for America? Will that collapse the old system? Yeah, I think I said this before, but if 2008 were to happen again, the banks are not too big to fail anymore. Why? Because we have an alternative. We have an alternative now. Back then in 2008, the banks failed. We had no alternative. We have to run a global, like, how do we have a market? What markets are going to continue the world trade and everything? I mean, yeah, it'd absolutely devastation. Well, if 2008 would happen again, well, guess what? We have new markets. We could easily transition into a completely new financial market where trades can happen, settlements can happen. Back then, we couldn't. We needed those people right back to work. That way we can make trades and have a global economy. So, interesting take. Anyway, it's getting to about the 15, 20-minute mark. I hope you all have a lovely week. Crypto, what do I think is going to happen next? I have no idea. I'm enjoying it. My big focus always is on tokenization, real world assets, real estate. Always keeping an eye on Bitcoin as well. So, anyway, if you have any